All right, let's dive right into this explainer. Today, we are unpacking a genuinely revolutionary open-source AI skill. Now, if you're a founder, an operator, or a creator of any kind, you know the absolute agony of deciding what to focus on next. It's paralyzing, right? Well, today, we're looking at a tool that acts as a tough love mentor for your business. It's called Outcome-First Decisions, and it operates on a totally counterintuitive premise. The friction is the actual feature.
Think about the lifespan of a truly bad idea for a second. A genuinely bad idea is incredibly cheap. You say it out loud, you realize pretty much instantly that it's terrible, and it dies on the spot. It costs you what, maybe 25 cents of your time? But the really expensive ideas, those are the plausible ones. They sound completely right in your head, they easily survive a whiteboard session with your team, and then they just quietly steal 3 months of your life before you realize nobody actually wants to pay for them. The real cost isn't the idea itself, it's the entire quarter of the year you just burned finding out it was a dud.
Section 1. The feature of friction. Why feeling stuck is actually way better than fake momentum.
So, to stop burning all that time, we need a total mindset shift. You know how most productivity tools are basically just cheerleaders? They exist to help you do more. But we don't need that. We need an anti-productivity tool that actively forces us to do less. This AI skill will outright refuse to bless your plan until you provide 4 very hard things: a named buyer, 1 single scoreboard number, a proof test you can actually run within the week, and a written line that would make you stop. If any of those are missing, it doesn't cheer you forward, it becomes a total roadblock.
And this is a profound paradigm shift. Think about the old way. A validation tool might look at your fuzzy, completely unproven idea and enthusiastically tell you, wow, looks promising. Here's a 12-week roadmap based entirely on your opinion. But the new way, this tool looks at that exact same lack of evidence and simply says, test first. That single substitution is literally the difference between spending 3 months building something in the dark and spending $250 this week to learn the exact same truth.
Moving to Section 2. 5 verdicts and the ladder. This is all about upgrading from mere vibes to honest evaluation. When you feed a decision into this engine, you're not getting some confusing percentage score or a vague rating. You get 1 of 5 plain language verdicts: worth doing, test first, change, defer, or drop. It completely skips the ambiguity and just tells you exactly what needs to happen next. And notice, no roadmaps get built unless an idea actually earns that highly coveted worth doing verdict.
The engine driving those verdicts is called the buyer evidence ladder. This system objectively demands higher rung proof. At the very bottom, rung 1 is just an opinion or a click, maybe 100 people who say they might pay someday. We all know that's incredibly weak evidence. But rung 8, up at the top, that's repeat purchase or actual revenue, a buyer paying today. The AI reads where your evidence actually sits, pinpoints your weakest point, and designs the absolute cheapest test to move you up exactly 1 rung. Because a buyer who pays today is infinitely more reliable than 100 who swear they'll pay tomorrow.
But let's be real. Insight without movement is just a nicer kind of stuck. That's why this skill operates on a super tight 3-step loop. 1. You bring a specific decision. 2. You get a structured answer in minutes, which immediately cuts out a week of agonizing second-guessing. And 3. It always distills the verdict into 3 physical actions you can execute today. Not vague advice like rethink your positioning, but hard physical steps like write a 25-name list or collect the first deposit. It optimizes purely for the next physical step. Section 3. The AI that remembers you. Turning your own track record into a finely tuned instrument.
Let's talk about this number, 42%. Imagine you habitually log your validation bets and you always claim, yeah, I'm 80% confident this will work. But over time, the data shows your real hit rate is actually only 42%. This AI tracks that. And the next time you confidently claim an 80% probability of success, the skill will ruthlessly call you out, point directly to your historical 42% reality, and automatically discount your future claims. It literally uses your own historical data against your personal biases.
Unlike most tools that completely forget you the exact second you close the tab, this one remembers you specifically, and it uses that memory to correct you. Over years, this compounding memory builds you into a highly calibrated instrument. It becomes increasingly harder for you to fool the system, and more importantly, to fool yourself with your own wishful thinking.
Section 4. Industry nuance and emergency protocols. What happens when things actually break down?
So the skill ships with 12 industry overlays, from SaaS to local business to healthcare, so your proof tests actually fit the reality of your vertical. But what if you're bleeding cash? If you mention a missed payroll, a shrinking runway, or losing your biggest customer, the AI drops all the fancy framework discussions immediately. It enters crisis mode. You get just 3 things: a one-line verdict, 3 actions with hour-level deadlines, and the exact dollar number that closes the business. In a cash emergency, scoring tables are just busy work. This tool gives you immediate survival metrics, period.
Section 5. The whole operation. Moving from single verdicts to a full command deck.
As you scale this discipline across your team, those single verdicts combine into a portfolio command deck. And the rules here, they have serious teeth. You're allowed a maximum of 2 unproven bets at once. Absolutely no bet is allowed without a hard kill date. And when you do kill a project, that capacity must be reallocated by name, not just vaguely labeled as freed up time. This portfolio view forces you to see the real compounding cost of those hidden side projects. It ensures that every single scarce, expensive hour you spend is actually defensible.
Section 6. The honest trade-off. Reassurance versus reality.
Listen, this tool makes a harsh but completely necessary trade-off. It optimizes for fewer, better-aimed bets and a verdict you can definitively defend. And it totally accepts that the price for that is you're not going to feel cheered on. If you are seeking the warm fuzzies of a beautiful roadmap or the comforting illusion of momentum, this is absolutely the wrong tool for you. It trades away reassurance for the cold, hard reality of traction. When your evidence is thin, it's going to tell you exactly that.
So why is this so critical right now? Because when making things gets cheap, the scarce and valuable skill stops being generation and becomes judgment about what to remove. We are living in an era where agentic AI makes generating code, content, and products incredibly cheap. Your constraint isn't a shortage of ideas anymore, it's a shortage of hours to spend on them. Editing by subtraction is literally the most critical discipline for a modern founder to master.
Which brings us right back to the core philosophy. The friction is the feature. The sheer discomfort of being told test first when you desperately wanted to just ship it. The sting of being shown your real 42% hit rate. Being forced to set a kill date before you're even allowed to start writing code. That discomfort isn't a rough edge to be sanded off. That friction is the exact mechanism that protects your business from burning quarters on bad bets.
And honestly, the best part of all this vital judgment isn't locked behind some massive enterprise paywall. It's an open source skill under the AGPL-3.0 license. It integrates directly into the AI environments you probably already use, like Claude Code, Codex, and Cursor. It's a discipline of subtraction handed directly to you as a deployable tool, without locking you into a single provider. It's a real game changer.
So, I'll leave you with this final, provocative question. What is one decision you just keep circling without actually resolving? We all have at least one, right? Install this skill today, bring that fuzzy idea to it, ask it for a verdict, and finally find out if your idea is actually worth spending the quarter on. Thanks so much for joining me on this explainer. I hope it brought you some clarity, and I will catch you next time.